In the small village of Udu, beauty was a narrow and unforgiving concept. Villagers admired slender, delicate figures, while those who did not fit this ideal were cast aside. Uju was born with a muscular build, which was seen as a curse. Her strong limbs and broad shoulders made her stand out in ways that were unwelcome. Instead of being celebrated for her strength, she was ridiculed and rejected. Udu held strict beauty standards. A slim, graceful figure was the epitome of beauty, and anyone who did not conform was shunned. Uju's muscular physique, meant to be admired for its strength and resilience, was seen as unattractive and unwanted. Her broad shoulders and powerful build only served to make her an outcast in the eyes of her community. Despite her inner strength, Uju's appearance remained unchanged. Her muscles were as prominent as ever, and no matter what she did, she could not alter her physical form. She tried different ways to fit in, from wearing loose clothing to adopting a softer posture, but her efforts to conform to the village's beauty standards were in vain. The more she tried to hide her true self, the more her isolation deepened. Uju's attempts to fit in were met with mockery and scorn. Men from the village would pretend to show interest, only to ridicule her behind her back. Women avoided her, fearing the social backlash of being associated with someone deemed unattractive. Uju's social life was marked by loneliness, and her attempts to build relationships were consistently thwarted by the village's harsh judgments. Driven by desperation, Uju sought help from various sources. She consulted healers, mystics, and even traveled to distant places in search of a remedy to change her appearance. She tried countless remedies and rituals, but nothing could alter her physical form. Each failure only deepened her despair, and Uju began to feel trapped in a life defined by rejection and sorrow. One day, overwhelmed by her misery, Uju decided to seek help from the river goddess, a mystical being believed to have the power to grant wishes. The river sparkled with an ethereal light as Uju approached, her heart heavy with hope and desperation. She knelt by the water, tears streaming down her face, and cried out for help. "Great river goddess," Uju pleaded, "I am in dire need of your help. Please grant me the beauty that my village desires. I want those who have hurt me to understand the pain I have suffered. Help me find love and acceptance." The river goddess appeared with a serene and understanding gaze. "I will grant you the beauty you seek," she said. "But remember, you must choose between vengeance and true love. You cannot have both. Choose wisely." The river goddess granted Uju the appearance she had always desired. Although Uju's physical form remained unchanged, the goddess bestowed upon her the ability to appear beautiful to those who looked upon her. This transformation was not physical but magical, allowing Uju to be seen as attractive to others while she remained true to herself. With her new magical beauty, Uju reveled in the attention she received. She took pleasure in the way men now admired her, and began using her appearance to seek revenge on those who had once ridiculed her. Marriages started falling apart, and families faced strange and unfortunate events. Uju felt a twisted satisfaction in the suffering she caused, believing it was a form of justice for her own pain. The village of Udu was thrown into turmoil. The once harmonious community began to break down as the effects of Uju's revenge took hold. Marriages disintegrated, homes were disrupted, and the social fabric of the village unraveled. The chaos was widespread, and Uju's delight in the turmoil grew as she continued to enjoy her newfound power. Years of causing havoc took their toll on Uju. Despite her apparent success in avenging herself, the suffering she inflicted began to weigh heavily on her conscience. She saw how her actions had led to the breakdown of relationships and the disintegration of the village's community. Uju's satisfaction turned to a sense of emptiness as she faced the consequences of her revenge. Amidst the chaos, a new man named Obi arrived in Udu. Unlike the other men, Obi was kind and genuine. He was drawn to Uju not by her magical beauty but by her true character. Obi admired Uju for her strength and resilience, seeing her beyond the enchantment bestowed by the goddess. "Hello, Uju," Obi said warmly. "I've heard about your story. You are a remarkable person, and I would like to get to know you better." Uju was initially wary of Obi, unsure of his intentions. She tried to use her magical beauty to win his affection, but Obi remained respectful and focused on understanding her true self. Unlike the others, Obi was not interested in exploiting Uju but was genuinely interested in who she was as a person. Obi's genuine affection for Uju began to break through her defenses. He showed her kindness and respect, treating her with the dignity she had longed for. Uju found herself growing closer to Obi, and her feelings for him deepened. She began to see him as a person who could truly understand and appreciate her. Despite her growing love for Obi, Uju was terrified of the consequences of intimacy. She knew that if they were together, Obi would suffer the same fate as the men she had punished. One evening, Uju gathered her courage and confessed her fears to Obi. "Obi, I care for you deeply, but I am afraid. The curse I received from the river goddess causes men to lose their manhood when they are with me. I don't want you to suffer as others have. I am afraid of losing you." Obi listened carefully, his compassion evident in his eyes. "I understand your fear," he said gently. "But we should not let this curse control our lives. We will find a way to break it together." Obi's support and unwavering love gave Uju hope, and they decided to confront the curse together. Uju and Obi embarked on a quest to find a remedy for the curse. They consulted various healers, traveled to distant lands, and explored every possible solution. Despite their tireless efforts, every attempt to lift the curse ended in failure. Their hope dwindled, but their love for each other kept them determined. After years of searching and failing to find a remedy, Uju and Obi returned to the river goddess. They approached the river with a mixture of hope and trepidation, ready to plead for help once more. Uju knelt by the water, tears streaming down her face. "Great river goddess," Uju begged, "we have tried everything but the curse remains. Please help us. We cannot bear to see the suffering continue." The river goddess appeared, her gaze filled with both empathy and sadness. "Your journey has been long and filled with pain," she said. "I will lift the curse, but remember, true healing comes from understanding and forgiveness." With the curse lifted, Uju and Obi decided to be together despite their fears. They shared an intimate moment, and as Uju had dreaded, Obi lost his manhood. The pain and sorrow were overwhelming, and Uju felt the weight of her actions more acutely than ever. Determined to help Obi, Uju dedicated herself to finding a cure. She worked tirelessly, exploring every possible remedy and seeking any way to undo the damage. Her love for Obi and her guilt drove her to exhaustion as she tried to make amends for the suffering she had caused. In her desperation, Uju once again pleaded with the river goddess. "Great river goddess, I have caused so much suffering and now see the consequences of my actions. Please help us heal and undo the curse." The river goddess appeared, her expression reflecting both compassion and sadness. "Your journey has been marked by suffering and repentance. The curse is lifted because you have shown true love and regret. You and Obi will be healed." With the curse lifted, Obi regained his manhood. Uju and Obi's love grew stronger as they faced their trials together. The village of Udu began to heal, and Uju's efforts to make amends were recognized. The villagers learned to appreciate beauty beyond physical appearance, and to understand the depth of one's character. Uju and Obi's story became a symbol of redemption, teaching the village about acceptance, forgiveness, and the transformative power of love. The pain and chaos that once defined Uju's life were replaced by healing and understanding, marking a new beginning for both her and the village.